So it's always a pleasure to drive our 93 Vette, but something has happened. We're at 132,000 miles, and now when I'm hard on the throttle, not even hard on the throttle, when I'm on the throttle, I hear a grinding noise coming from the rear passenger side. I think it's a wheel hub, but what I'm gonna do is record this noise so you can hear it, and then I'm gonna take it apart and see what the problem is. So listen closely. And you can definitely feel a large vibration. Yeah, I'm thinking that's a wheel hub. Stay tuned to find out. Okay, I found our issue. It's the universal joint on the wheel side of our half shaft. And the way you can tell, watch this. As I go ahead and spin this rotor, watch how much this half shaft moves. See that? That's basically one of the universal joints is eaten up. For comparison, you want to see the other side? Here's the driver's side. You see there's a little bit of movement, but nothing like the other one. Here's a better view that will really show you how failed this thing is. That should be a nice, tight fit. No luck. So, the way we're gonna replace this, take the whole half shaft out by undoing these four, actually it's 8 fasteners, 4 on each side, and then you slide the whole thing out. For those of you who are watching and don't feel like digging through your sockets, we need an 18mm right here and a 21mm deep well for here and a 21mm wrench to hold that while we loosen everything up. As you can see, we've already loosened this one up. So now what we're gonna do is, as Vice Grip Garage calls it, we're gonna grab our Tanya Harding 3000 and gently tap away at this until this breaks free. Key is to not damage the threads. Welcome to the undercarriage of my Vette. As you can see, what we've done is we've lifted the half shaft out from the axle side, and then we pulled it away from here, and now we're just going to lift the entire thing out. Well, luckily there's not a whole lot of room here. Oh no. Well, you know what? That's not a problem. You see there how dusty that is? You shouldn't have dust coming out of, oh, look at all the rollers, they're destroyed. No. That's why we're replacing universal. That one had dried out and was shot. But as you can see, I am struggling with where I can pull this out from. There's not a whole lot of room down here. Oh, there we go. There we go, comes right out. There we go, piece of cake. Here's a pro tip. Probably the hardest part of this job is actually getting the half shaft out of here because there's just, as you can see, not a lot of clearance. So what you do, you disconnect this tie rod end. Be very careful when you're hammering this out from the bottom. Use the nut to prevent the threads from getting deformed or else you'll be buying a new one. And you also disconnect the shock from the bottom of the suspension. And what that does, that gives you enough leeway. Then you get in here with a little leverage, if you want to call it that. And here, you guys take a look in there. Watch this drive. Watch the half shaft. Oh, oops. Well, I apply a little leverage. See how much that moves? That gives you the play that you really need to actually get the half shaft out. And the way it works is you lift it up, and then push it in, and then drop it out down through here. We're at the point where we have to go ahead and remove our failed U-joint from our half shaft, which is very easy. We just take this E-clip, pop it out, and then we use a press to go ahead and push this right through. Piece of cake. Pro tip, once you've gone ahead and removed your universal from the half shafts, go ahead and clean these little races up. Get a little steel wool, get something in there, make them nice and shiny, and then put a little lubrication on there before you put your next U-joint in. No point in forcing things. Ooh, spicer. Spicy. This ought to be interesting. Here's the driver's side half shaft. You can see that Yep, that's definitely wiped pretty good, but what was real neat, I can't rotate this. Normally you rotate pretty easily. Feels fine in that plane, but this plane not so hot. So I thought you guys might want to see the big reveal here. Whoa. That was not the brightest, but as you can see, basically powder came out of here. So the spring bushing was incredibly simple to do. I've got the jack under the spring, which actually is under very little tension, and I just pried the old bushing off. And here's the actual bolt, and you can see the condition of that bushing is just totally roached. And here's the one that came out of it. Yep, not great. Let's bring those to the workbench to do a comparison. There we have our original Z07 bushings in comparison to our brand new energy suspension bushings. Sweet. Well, look how glorious this turned out. Let me share with you how this went down. All you do is you end up putting the drive shaft back in on this here angle between the spring and the suspension. And once your half shaft is in there, you want it to actually sit above where your universal would normally go. When it's up there, you can kind of move it in further and then get it into the hub side, put it into the hub side, bolt it in place. Once it's bolted down there, you take your pry bar and you put it right here, you pull your suspension out, and as you pull your suspension out, that allows your half shaft to drop down in. That's how the whole thing goes back in. It's really easy, however, very difficult to film, because as you can see, there's not any room. It's either my hand is in there or the camera is in there, but not both of them. We also have our new spring bushings on. That was actually very easy to install. Turns out you don't even need to put a jack underneath the spring. It comes off with no tension. Putting these back on, there was a little bit of a trick to it. You had to put a C-clamp to kind of hold this in place. Otherwise, the actual fastener would rotate when you were trying to put the nut on. But when you had it clamped down, it would hold it tight inside your bracket and was good to go. So there you have it, all good. I also removed the shock on the other side. That was giving us our service ride control light. I ended up trying to bend the gear. I think the gear was making contact with the housing and binding up a little bit, so I bent it as best I could away from the housing, and I also put a bunch of moly grease on it. Hopefully that will fix that issue, because I hate seeing that light turned on. So that's it. We're gonna go ahead and put our wheels on, and well, today is nice, except for the opposite. So maybe we'll go for a spin in the rain. What a great idea to take our new U-joints for a test drive. Gateway Classic Cars, Cars and Coffee. Local showroom, lots of fun, consignment sales place. You see a lot of their stuff on eBay. Always a great event. Why don't you guys tag along? It'll be fun. Oil temp's still a little low, so we don't want to really go high in the RPMs until that oil warms up. Oop, somebody caught that pole last night. That made the lights flicker for like a square mile. Unbelievable. And it made a lot of noise too. Oh yeah, now that we're building up a little bit of speed, we have no vibration at all. So it looks like those U-joints fixed our problem. As if there was any confusion or surprise. Come on. I remember back in the day when you wanted something, you actually had to go physically buy it. Oh, it was a different time. Now, look at this. We have Amazon everywhere to help us out. Life is so much easier. And we're getting close. Forest Park Industrial Center, or whatever it's called, warehouse complex. Woo, good turnout. Okay turnout. I'm liking that F-body though. What is that, 86 Trans Am? 85? Nice. T-tops. I love it. Some other classics. Oh, looks like Bill is here from Gators Mopar Garage. Oh, I saw this El Camino drive by my house this morning. It sounded great. I think I'm gonna go park down here away from everybody. I don't want anyone to ding my paint. I'm just kidding. Although I am parking away from everybody. Well, here we are. What a fun way to spend a Saturday morning. Check it out. 7-Up Fox body. I always wanted one of these. but plenty of cars. Here we're looking at a lovely 66 Fairlane 394 speed. Tell me that wouldn't be a blast to drive. If money were no object, right? Oh, this was my personal favorite there. Look at this interior. I mean, this is just incredible workmanship. I forget the whole story with it, but it was a beautiful car. Oh, little Mopar power, 68 Barracuda, 440, 61 grand. Hey, it doesn't grow on trees, but if it did, right? 69 Z28. Oh, you know what? It's a classic. It's a given. Everybody wants Z28. Although 127,000, I don't know. Maybe I could get one that's not a Z28 and put the badges on it. Oh, this was a really cool looking fastback Mustang. 127,000. Yep. I'm not sure why it says Boss 429, but then it says it has a 351. I'm not sure what the dealio is there. Maybe not original. This Nova I thought had really cool pinstriping. There was actually a matching car there too. 454 4-speed. Tell me that's not a great time to drive. 70 Boss 302 with a 4-speed. I guarantee that's a lot of fun to drive. But for 100,000, I think I don't know. I think I'd probably buy some real estate instead of a car. 70 El Camino 454 big blocks. You can't beat the sound of a big block. And I love that particular paint job, the white with the black with the white stripes. It's great. 70 Mustang, no price, because if you have to ask, you can't afford it, right? Oh, here we have a beautiful 72 Roadrunner, 400 automatic. I guarantee this is just a really cool, fun car to drive. Probably not going to win any drag races, but probably a blast. 73 Challenger, I always loved the Challengers. 440 supercharged. You don't see that every day. 108 grand, no problemo. 73 CJ5. I've always wanted a CJ5. I kind of like a little bit newer because of roll bars, but 38 grand, 304, 3-speed. I always thought it'd be cool to get a fiberglass bodied one with like a small block Chevy. 76 Fleetwood. That's when Cadillacs were truly luxury machines. What a cool car. 80, my bad. Whoa. 80 Turbo Trans Am pace car. I absolutely love the wheels on this car. I actually have a couple set. Oh, I have one set left that I'll be putting on my 73 Grand Am, but turbo 4.9 liter, not the best engine, but what a great car. Great platform to swap the engine. 85 Grand National. Come on, it's an icon. 88 505 speed Fox body, plus it's the notchback. That's a cool car. I forget the video game, but there was maybe the Need for Speed. There was a video game where you could drive that car. It was cool. Oh, 88 Fiero GT. You know, these are cool little cars, but with an automatic transmission? I don't know. I mean, takes away from the fun. The new Elante. If you have not seen that episode of Married with Children, I highly recommend it. Really cool cars. I love the instrument cluster in the 93s. Hey, look at that Vette. Does that look familiar? That's a sharp looking car. Oh, and what is that in the background? Huh. Is that in Long Beach Island? I think it is. Oh, 96 Cherokee, 4-door, 4.0 auto. You know, those are really neat Jeeps, but I don't know, 20 grand? I don't know if they're that neat. 93 BMW M3. I always thought these were really cool looking cars. 5-speed. I bet it's a lot of fun to drive, but I have never driven one. I've never owned one either. I don't know how expensive they are to maintain. C4 Corvettes. Gateway Classic cars. Always has a ton of C4 Corvettes. I don't see them selling very often, but with prices that high, I can understand why they wouldn't. Oh my god, these were some really cool cars. I mean, if you really had to make a choice here, right? I think I'd probably go with the 67 GTO. Oh, here we go. 87 Trans Am. F-bodies, just in general, F-bodies are great. You get the Camaro, the IROC, I guess, and then the 79 Formula. All cool cars. Oh, I always wanted one of these Mercedes. Eventually we will get one. I want to get the 560 SL. I know, they're not going to win any races, they're not going to handle great, but man, they look cool. Oh, Stang Mode, that's the other YouTube channel. He had a couple of giveaway cars there. These were both beautiful cars. He does the sweepstakes. Oh, this Willys, this thing was beautiful. I mean, this was the paint and body on this. The photos just do not do it justice at all. This is a generation of cars that I don't really know a whole lot about. When you start talking like pre-1960s, my knowledge dwindles quickly, but cool cars. This thing was really awesome. You could kind of see a little bit of that red frame sticking out from underneath. If you looked underneath this car, you could eat off of that frame. I mean, this was a full-blown, it's like a SEMA build.
Oh, this thing was like totally modernized with the T56 6-speed. It was fuel injected, big block, really sweet car. Oh, and there you go. That's really what Gateway is all about. Friends and family, spending time. I'm just checking out some cars and telling some stories. So that's what I was doing there.
Well, that was a lot of fun. Another fun Gateway Cars and Coffee, and time to go. Wow, what is with this stretch of road? Somebody else over on the side of the road with their hazards on. Oh, the guy who was here on the way in is gone, so he didn't need our help. Maybe people are just stopped to birdwatch. I'm not sure. Either way, I hope everybody enjoyed the video and the visit to Gateway Classic Cars. I know I had a lot of fun both filming it, and I'm going to have fun editing it and presenting it. I will see everyone in the next video. Take care.